In the vast emptiness of space, the human battlecruiser Eternal Horizon moved like a silent predator. Commander Jae-wook Kim stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the holographic displays that flickered with centuries of accumulated knowledge. Around him, the ship hummed with an energy that spoke of humanity's incredible journey. 500,000 years had passed since humans first looked up at the stars and dreamed of exploration. What began as tiny steps on a fragile planet had transformed into something extraordinary. The ship beneath Jae-wook's feet was more than metal and technology. It was a testament to human survival and innovation. Unipark, the chief strategic analyst, approached the command station. Her fingers danced across quantum interfaces, pulling up complex data streams that would have been incomprehensible to humans of ancient times. She wore a simple gray uniform that belied the incredible power she controlled with each subtle movement. "Commander," she said quietly, "long-range sensors are picking up unusual energy signatures in the Andromeda sector." Jae-wook nodded, his expression calm. Generations of strategic training had taught humanity to approach the unknown with calculated precision. The ship's systems were already analyzing the anomaly, running thousands of potential scenarios per second. The Eternal Horizon represented more than just a military vessel. It was a living archive of human achievement, each system a marvel of scientific progress that would have seemed like magic to their distant ancestors. Quantum communication networks intertwined with adaptive AI systems, creating a level of tactical awareness that made traditional warfare look like children's games. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, stars moved like distant memories. Humanity had long since conquered the limitations of traditional space travel. Faster-than-light technology was now so common that interstellar journeys were as routine as ancient sea voyages once were. Yuna's screen suddenly lit up with a series of complex calculations. "Preliminary analysis suggests an uncharted region with unique quantum signatures," she reported. Her voice carried no excitement, just pure professional efficiency, another trait humanity had perfected over millennia. Jae-wook studied the data. What once would have been a moment of uncertainty was now just another routine investigation. Humanity had learned to approach the unknown not with fear, but with an overwhelming combination of curiosity and preparedness. The ship's AI, integrated seamlessly into the vessel's systems, began running predictive models. Trillions of calculations happened in microseconds, mapping potential outcomes with mathematical precision. This was not just technology. This was the result of 500,000 years of evolutionary strategic thinking. Generations of genetic and technological enhancement had transformed humans from fragile biological entities to something more. They were no longer confined by the limitations of their original form. Enhanced cognitive abilities, integrated technological systems, and a collective knowledge base that spanned centuries made them something entirely new. "Prepare standard reconnaissance protocols," Jae-wook instructed. His voice was steady, reflecting generations of training that valued calm analysis over emotional reaction. The crew moved with synchronized efficiency. Each member was a product of centuries of specialized training and genetic optimization. They were not just individuals, but part of a collective human consciousness that had learned to operate with machine-like precision. Yuna's screens continued to pulse with data. The unknown region was revealing itself slowly, like a puzzle waiting to be solved. Humanity had become masters of solving puzzles, whether they involved complex mathematical equations or entire galactic mysteries. As the Eternal Horizon moved closer to the anomalous region, something stirred in the vast cosmic darkness. But humanity was ready. They had spent 500,000 years preparing for exactly this moment, an encounter with the unknown. The ship continued its silent journey, a monument to human potential. 500,000 years of evolution, technological advancement, and strategic thinking compressed into a single moment of exploration. Whatever waited in the darkness of Andromeda would soon discover the true meaning of human capability. The alien diplomatic vessel appeared suddenly, cutting through the cosmic darkness like a pale ghost. Its design was unlike anything humans had seen before, curved, organic shapes that seemed to pulse with an almost living energy. Commander Jae-wook Kim watched carefully as the ship approached, his fingers hovering near the communication interface. Krell, the lead diplomat of the Meridian Confederation, felt his multiple sensory organs trembling. The human vessel looked deceptively simple, yet every scan revealed layers of complexity that defied understanding. Humans were not like other species they had encountered. Something was different about them. Unipark's quantum communication network was already 5 steps ahead. Before the aliens could even begin their standard greeting protocols, she had analyzed thousands of potential communication scenarios. Her enhanced neural implants processed information at speeds that would have seemed impossible to humans just centuries ago. "Incoming transmission," announced the ship's AI in a calm, neutral voice. The bridge crew remained perfectly still, each member prepared for any potential scenario. Years of training had taught them that first contact was always unpredictable. Krell's transmission flickered onto the main screen. His species communicated through a complex mix of color changes, wave patterns, and subtle energy signatures. To an untrained eye, it might have looked like nothing more than a shifting light display. But to the humans, it was a perfectly readable communication. The message was simple: "We seek understanding. Your presence in this sector is unexpected." Jae-wook's response was equally measured. "We are explorers," he transmitted back. The simplicity of the message masked layers of sophisticated communication protocols that had been developed over centuries of interstellar interactions. Yuna noticed something interesting in the transmission's background data. The alien ship's scanning technologies were primitive compared to human systems. They were trying to gather information, but their methods were like using a candle to explore a vast library. The bridge of the eternal horizon remained calm. Each crew member was a product of generations of space exploration training. Enhanced cognitive abilities, integrated technological systems, and a collective knowledge base made them more than simple human beings. They were living sensors, each one capable of processing complex information instantaneously. Krell's confusion grew with each passing moment. Human responses were unlike any diplomatic communication the Meridian Confederation had ever encountered. There was no aggression, but also no typical submission. It was as if the humans existed in a completely different understanding of interaction. The quantum communication network continued its silent dance. Millions of potential conversation paths were being analyzed and filtered in microseconds. What seemed like a simple conversation was actually a complex strategic negotiation happening at speeds beyond traditional understanding. Suddenly, the alien ship's systems began to show signs of stress. Their scanning attempts were being gently, but firmly, blocked by human technology. It was not an aggressive action, but a demonstration of capabilities, like a master chess player preventing an opponent from seeing the entire board. "Your scanning attempts are ineffective," Jae-wook transmitted. The message was direct, without any hint of threat or challenge. Simply a statement of fact. Krell's sensory organs shifted through multiple colors, a sign of deep confusion and growing respect. These humans were unlike any species the Meridian Confederation had ever encountered. They didn't seek conflict, but they also showed no fear. On the bridge of the eternal horizon, the crew remained calm. This was just another routine encounter, another moment in humanity's long journey of exploration. 500,000 years of evolution had prepared them for exactly this type of interaction. As the transmission continued, one thing became increasingly clear. This was not just a meeting between two species. This was a moment that would potentially reshape understanding of interstellar relationships, and humanity was ready. The cosmic darkness around them seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The Meridian Confederation's scout fleet arrived with clear, aggressive intentions. 3 massive vessels emerged from quantum-fold space, their weapon systems charging with deadly precision. They believed humanity would be another species to intimidate, a fatal miscalculation. Hyun-Ki Lee, the quantum warfare specialist, watched the approaching ships with clinical detachment. His enhanced neural interfaces were already connecting with the Eternal Horizon's advanced defense networks. Every potential weapon trajectory, every possible attack vector was being calculated and countered before the alien ships could even complete their approach. Commander Jae-wook Kim remained seated, his breathing steady. No dramatic movements, no visible tension. Just pure, calculated readiness. The alien vessels began their attack run. Energy weapons charged, preparing to unleash destruction. They expected panic, expected resistance. Instead, they found something entirely different. Hyun-Ki's fingers moved almost imperceptibly across the quantum interface. Nano-adaptive defense grids activated silently. These were not traditional shields or weapon systems. They were living, thinking networks that could predict and neutralize threats at speeds beyond comprehension. The first alien weapon discharge seemed promising from their perspective. A massive energy blast targeted the human vessel's central section. But something strange happened. The energy didn't just bounce off. It was absorbed, analyzed, and then completely nullified. Each alien weapon strike met the same fate. Sophisticated quantum algorithms decoded their attack patterns faster than the aliens could generate them. It was like watching a supercomputer play chess against a child, completely one-sided, but without any sense of cruelty. Unipark monitored the entire interaction, her enhanced cognitive systems processing millions of potential scenarios per second. This wasn't just defense, it was a comprehensive demonstration of technological superiority. The alien scout fleet began to realize something was wrong. Their most advanced weapons were being completely neutralized without any visible human counterattack. No missiles, no energy discharges, no traditional combat responses. Just pure, calculated defensive technology. Hyun-Ki's nano-adaptive systems began their next phase. Instead of destroying the alien vessels, they systematically disabled critical systems. Propulsion networks went offline. Communication arrays became scrambled. Weapon systems were rendered completely inert. Within minutes, the entire alien scout fleet was transformed from a potential threat into helpless observers. They weren't destroyed, just completely neutralized. A surgical demonstration of technological capability that spoke volumes about human strategic thinking. Commander Jae-wook finally spoke, his voice calm and measured. "Your attack is concluded," he transmitted to the alien fleet. "We suggest recalculating your strategic approach." The message was clear. Humanity could destroy them instantly if desired. But they chose not to. This was a teaching moment, not a massacre. Quantum communication networks continued their silent dance, analyzing every microscopic detail of the interaction. Each moment was being recorded, studied, prepared for potential future scenarios. The disabled alien vessels drifted silently. Their crews were alive, their infrastructure intact, just completely unable to function. It was a demonstration of control that went beyond traditional warfare. This wasn't about destruction. This was about showing absolute technological dominance. Hyun-Ki systems began automatic repair and restoration protocols for the alien vessels. A subtle message. Humanity could disable them completely, but chose instead to show mercy. Another layer of the demonstration. As quickly as it began, the encounter ended. The Meridian Confederation scout fleet was left adrift, their most advanced technologies rendered useless against human quantum defense networks. On the bridge of the Eternal Horizon, no one celebrated. No one showed excitement. This was simply another moment in humanity's ongoing journey of exploration and strategic interaction. The cosmic darkness around them seemed to hold a new understanding. Humanity was not just another species to be challenged. They were something entirely different, a civilization that had transcended traditional concepts of conflict and warfare. And this was just the beginning. The Galactic Conference Hall was unlike anything seen before. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations sat in carefully arranged sections, their anticipation thick like heavy smoke. Su Jin-choi stood at the center, her presence calm and measured, representing humanity's collective knowledge. Her holographic presentation began without dramatic introduction. Simple, clear images started revealing humanity's technological journey. The screens showed quantum communication networks that could transmit information across entire star systems in microseconds. Complex algorithms danced across displays, showing predictive models that could calculate potential galactic interactions centuries in advance. The alien representatives watched in stunned silence. Some species had advanced technologies, but nothing compared to what humans were casually displaying. Quantum entanglement communication systems that made traditional communication methods look like primitive drum signals. Su Jin's presentation moved through humanity's technological achievements. Adaptive nano-warfare technologies that could neutralize entire attack systems without causing physical destruction. Artificial intelligence networks that could process more information in a second than most civilizations could in generations. Commander Jae-wook Kim and Yoona Park watched from the side, their expressions neutral. This wasn't about showing off. This was a calculated demonstration of humanity's capabilities. Each slide, each technical explanation was carefully crafted to communicate one fundamental message. Humanity was not just another species in the galaxy. The nano-adaptive defense systems they had demonstrated earlier were just the beginning. The presentation revealed entire technological ecosystems that redefined understanding of warfare, communication, and strategic interaction. Adaptive learning systems that could predict potential conflicts before they even emerge. One alien representative from a highly technological civilization tried to interrupt. Before they could speak, the presentation's AI had already analyzed their potential question and was preparing a comprehensive response. It was like watching a chess grandmaster predict moves before they were even considered. Faster-than-light travel technologies were presented not as achievements, but as simple, matter-of-fact capabilities. Humanity had transformed space travel from a complex challenge to a routine technological process. Star systems that would take other civilizations centuries to reach could be traversed by human vessels in days. The most shocking revelation was humanity's approach to technological development. Unlike many galactic civilizations that hoarded technological advances, humans seemed committed to balanced, ethical progression. Each technological breakthrough was accompanied by comprehensive ethical frameworks. Genetic enhancement technologies were displayed, not as methods of creating superior humans, but as tools for eliminating genetic diseases, enhancing cognitive capabilities, and ensuring species-wide health. It was a subtle but powerful demonstration of humanity's philosophical approach to technology. Su Jin's final demonstration showed something truly remarkable. A comprehensive galactic mapping system that could predict potential resource conflicts, ecological changes, and strategic interactions centuries in advance. It wasn't just a technological tool, it was a peacekeeping mechanism. The conference hall remained silent. Some alien representatives looked terrified. Others appeared genuinely impressed. Humanity was presenting itself not as a conquering force, but as a potential stabilizing element in the complex galactic ecosystem. Yoona Park's quantum communication networks were already processing the conference's potential outcomes. Millions of scenarios were being calculated, potential diplomatic responses mapped out with mathematical precision. As the presentation concluded, the message was clear. Humanity was not seeking dominance through aggression. They were offering a new model of interaction, one based on technological capability, ethical considerations, and strategic wisdom. The galactic representatives began to understand something profound. Humanity was not just another species to be categorized or controlled. They were a transformative force, a civilization that had learned to balance technological power with philosophical understanding. Su Jin Choi stepped back, her presentation complete. No dramatic closing statement, no attempt to convince or persuade. The information spoke for itself. In that moment, the galaxy's understanding of itself began to change. Humanity had arrived, not with weapons or threats, but with knowledge, capability, and a vision for collective progress. The cosmic conversation had entered a new chapter. The Global Human Council Chamber was a marvel of architectural design, suspended high above Earth's transformed surface. Holographic displays flickered with galactic maps, showing humanity's expanding influence across multiple star systems. Delegates from different human colonies sat in circular formation, each representing centuries of specialized adaptation. Some bore genetic modifications for extreme planetary environments. Others carried neural enhancements that allowed direct quantum communication. Commander Jae-wook Kim presented the latest Galactic Interaction Report. His voice was calm, almost matter-of-fact, as he outlined humanity's strategic position. The Meridian Confederation's earlier aggressive attempt had been completely neutralized, and now diplomatic channels were opening. Unipark's quantum analysis systems continued running background calculations. Every potential galactic scenario was being predicted, mapped, and prepared for. Humanity had transformed from a single planetary species to a civilization that thought and acted on cosmic scales. The galactic map began to shift. Human influence wasn't about territorial conquest, but about creating stable, interconnected systems. Advanced communication networks were being established, allowing unprecedented levels of cultural and technological exchange. Technological sharing became humanity's primary diplomatic strategy. Instead of hoarding knowledge, they developed comprehensive transfer protocols that allowed other species to benefit from human innovations. It was a radical approach that confused traditional galactic power structures. Genetic research teams had developed technologies that could help species overcome environmental challenges. Planetary transformation systems could rehabilitate damaged ecosystems. Medical breakthroughs could eliminate genetic diseases across multiple civilizations. The Council discussed not just human expansion, but human responsibility. Each technological advancement was accompanied by ethical frameworks that considered long-term galactic stability. This was civilization building on a scale never before seen. Hyun-Ki Lee presented quantum defense network upgrades. These were not weapons of destruction, but advanced protection systems that could neutralize potential conflicts before they emerge. Predictive algorithms that could map potential confrontations centuries in advance. Alien diplomatic representatives, once hostile, now attended these meetings as observers. They watched in a mixture of fascination and slight fear as humans demonstrated a level of strategic thinking that went beyond traditional military or political approaches. The new cosmic order wasn't about human domination. It was about creating a balanced, interconnected galactic ecosystem. Humanity had learned from its own historical mistakes and was applying those lessons on an interstellar scale. Advanced AI systems worked alongside human delegates, providing real-time analysis and potential scenario predictions. These were not replacement systems, but collaborative intelligence platforms that enhanced human decision-making. Soo Jin Choi, representing diplomatic relations, outlined collaboration protocols with various galactic civilizations. Technology transfers, cultural exchange programs, and comprehensive peacekeeping initiatives were being developed. The chamber's holographic displays showed something remarkable: a gradually stabilizing galactic map. Potential conflict zones were being transformed into collaborative research zones. Resource-rich regions were being developed with multi-species cooperation. Humanity's approach was unique. They didn't seek to control or subjugate. They offered solutions, shared knowledge, and created frameworks for collective progress. It was diplomacy elevated to an art form, backed by unprecedented technological capability. Genetic research teams had developed adaptation technologies that allowed species to survive in environments previously considered impossible. Planetary transformation systems could rehabilitate damaged ecosystems across multiple worlds. The Global Human Council represented something more than a governing body. It was a living demonstration of humanity's evolved consciousness, a collective intelligence that thought and acted on cosmic scales. As the meeting concluded, the holographic galactic map continued to pulse with potential. Humanity had become more than a species. They were architects of a new cosmic understanding, builders of interstellar cooperation. The darkness between stars was no longer just empty space. It had become a canvas of potential, a network of possibilities waiting to be explored and understood. Humanity's journey from a small planetary civilization to a galactic collaborative force was complete. But in many ways, their real journey was just beginning. The universe watched and waited. Technological development accelerated at an unprecedented rate. The quantum communication networks humanity introduced allowed instant knowledge sharing across vast distances. Research that would have taken decades now happened in months, with multiple species contributing simultaneously. The most surprising transformation happened in conflict resolution. Humanity's diplomatic frameworks emphasized understanding over confrontation. Complex historical conflicts that had existed for generations began finding peaceful resolutions through collaborative dialogue. Artificial intelligence systems developed through human-alien collaborations demonstrated capabilities that redefined intelligence itself. These weren't just computing systems. They were adaptive learning platforms that could understand complex emotional and cultural nuances. Space exploration entered a new era, where once different civilizations competed for territorial expansion. Now collaborative exploration became the norm. Humanity showed that the universe was vast enough for everyone, with unlimited potential for discovery. Cultural exchanges became as important as technological collaborations. Art, music, philosophical frameworks from different civilizations began blending in unprecedented ways. Humanity's approach emphasized understanding over judgment, curiosity over fear. Captain Park understood something profound had happened. Humanity hadn't conquered the galaxy. They had simply shown a different way of existing, one of collaboration, mutual respect, and continuous learning. The transformation wasn't about technological superiority. It was about a fundamental shift in perspective. Humanity had introduced a new way of thinking about existence itself, not as a competition, but as a collaborative journey of discovery. As the research station's quantum windows displayed the vast, beautiful complexity of space, Xiangwu turned to Captain Park. "We're just getting started," he said quietly. The universe listened, full of infinite potential. "Would you like me to elaborate on any specific aspect of this final part of the story?"